your breaking news, stimulus checkup, day and stimulus package update. Now, we are hearing that he better take action because it's a midterm election year, and if it does not, well, it's going to spell disaster for his administration and for Democrats in Congress, as we are hearing that a red wave could be coming this November in the House and in the Senate, and then we will have a sitting Democratic president with a full Republican Congress. And it's very likely that this agenda will not get pushed through at all. Now, you guys take a look. I actually just did a poll 30 minutes before the recording of this. So, if you haven't voted yet, go vote. But if today presidential elections were held, I'd vote for Biden. He's gonna pull through this just 15 not Biden, but another Democratic candidate. So, those voting Democrats are actually the majority saying they want somebody else in his position. And for the Republicans, it is very dominant for Trump. They are saying that Trump in there, he will fix things right way. Now we are hearing that he has right to take action on an assortment of different things. Food prices are high, gas prices are high, we have a run on baby formula due to a shortage. They are saying that they would like to have stimulus checks monthly, recurring checks of $250 per month to have eased the issue with the shortage. Biden has invoked the Defense Production Act for familiar shortage. We are hearing that he has stepped up and said, it is something that needs to be addressed immediately to have our parents get that baby formula. But we also heard that the House has passed a bill that formula bill is going to be facing a hearing in the Senate. Now, I'm gonna get to the latest, but we're hearing that Biden is attempting to get things pushed through. He's gonna have to pick up the pace here before this midterm election if Democrats want to stay in power. However, we are hearing that he very likely is going to have to do executive orders and executive actions as Democrats are not unified to this legislation. Joe Manchin's trail of destruction is about to get more worse. As they are saying, even though he has said he is willing to get on board to negotiate a slim down modified reconciliation bill for stimulus provisions known as the Build Back Better, is willing to discuss some of these things if it can be paid for and not add to debt and inflation. They are saying they are fearing that Joe Manchin just may be bringing them along, and we will heard that he has also said if they are going to pass something, a stimulus package, even stimulus checks. They like to do September 30, the last day possible, bringing it down to the ground, meaning that they would really not have to bend to his will in order to get anything done, or their ability to pass legislation would expire. Do you think that Joe Manchin is going to get on board? Stringing them along with his executive orders in action is going to be the only way that Biden is going to be able to pass his economic agenda and provide more stimulus. In the coming weeks, he's going to take a step towards his first stimulus provision of wiping out student debt. And then we hear that it will be the beginning of many more to come. President Biden has invoked the Defense Production Act to supposedly speed up the production and distribution of baby formula. Here is Biden yesterday's announcing that policy. It gives the government the ability to provide supplies to direct needed resources to defend formula manufacturers before any other customer who may have ordered that good. I'm also announcing the Operation Fly Formula, best to be able to speed up the import of infant formula and start getting more formula in stores. As soon as possible, I directed the Department of Defense and the Department of Health and Human Services to send that plans overseas to pick up infants formula that is our health and safety standards, so we can get on the store ourselves faster. The authorization comes just a week after former White House press secretary Jen Psaki blasted Republicans for stretching the Defense Production Act as a means to address the shortage. Their production of manual baby formula is so specialized and so specific that you can't just use the Production Act activities to to a company that produces something as products baby formula. One how others hit the House floor yesterday and approved a bill that would expand access to formulas for low-income Americans. Only 12 Republicans voted in favor of legislation. Democrats added 28 million in funding for the FDA and hope to prevent future disruptions and enhance safety inspections. According to the Washington Post, President Biden stepping up to take action to help out with the baby formula issue, and we hear Jen Psaki just the week before so that a Defense Production Act would not be invoked. I guess she should have circled back on that one, but baby formula faced rocky terrain in the Senate, so we are going to be seen as they try to pass that bill through the House. Now, it's going to go on the Senate emergency money legislation aimed at addressing the infant formula shortage. It's facing rocky terrain in the Senate as Republican leaders are reluctant to say if they will support the Democratic-backed legislation that swiftly passed the House earlier this week. Senate Democrats are pushing for speedy action on the bill, calling it a critical first step by Congress and addressing a nationwide shortage. But Republicans argue throwing more money at the FDA is not the solution. Senator Roy Blunt, a member of the GOP leadership, told The Hill on Thursday that it may or may not serve to solve some long-term problems at the FDA. He also expressed doubt about the impact that it will have on the upcoming weeks for people that need baby formula. Senator Richard Selby, the top GOP member of the Senate Appropriations Committee, also said on Thursday that he is doubtful that the bill has the necessary backing from Republicans to skew its passage in the upper chamber. As the formula shortage continues to dominate public interest, lawmakers and the Biden administration have been feeling the pressure to respond. Meanwhile, the article says that the current shortage was triggered in partly by supply chain stress, but worsened when a single formula manufacturing plant in Michigan shut down back in February. Just four companies control more than 90% of the formula market, including Abbott Nutrition, which operated the Michigan plant. Democrats have declined the market consolidation, but are focused mainly on the immediate issue of getting formula back onto store shelves. Abbott shut the facility down back in February after it was linked to 4 infants who are hospitalized with rare bacterial infections. The company also issues a voluntary recall of the formula brands made from the facility after an FDA inspection found unsanitary conditions at the plant. The good news is it looks like Congress is taking action to try to help out with the supply chain issue and get formula back on shelves for parents and their children. However, we are also hearing reports this might take a while. They are taking action now, but we might not see them actually hit stores for another roughly 10 weeks now. As the days come out, we are going to be seeing if Congress is going to get on board with more legislation to pass through more provisions, more direct assistance to help out people, as we are also seeing a new wave of the Omicron variant hitting and the United States cases are increasing. We will see, and also midterm elections are adding to pressure to see what passes, and if we can pass any legislation again, and seeing if President Joe Biden will step up and take action for executive orders.